Has working with your spouse almost ended or ruined your relationship? If so, this is the video for you if you're thinking about this in your business. I've been through it. I've done the whole gamut of having this almost fail, causing relationship issues, and coming out on the other side. Before we get into that though, I'm Jacob Godar. I run landscaping companies, one in Illinois and one here in Florida. And as I mentioned, I've really been through it with this. I've seen the highs of doing well in business and everyone understanding where we're at. And I've also seen the lows of no one knows what direction we're heading. There's so much confusion. There's so much pain. You ask for help and your person is just, they're not feeling it. They are over it. They never wanted what you've signed up for or didn't understand where you were heading. And all it causes is pain and agony and so much confusion. So I'm going to go over 3 things that have really helped me and that will help you push through this. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's the same thing. We all get into business thinking one thing: I'm going to grind, I'm going to grow this thing, I'm going to make this awesome opportunity that creates a ton of opportunity for my family, and everyone is going to be happy. The thing we really think though is that should be good enough. Just me doing this, it should be visibly enough for everyone. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of times it's not. People don't sign up for you spending countless hours working, for you stressing and the anxieties and the pressure of business. So let's get right into this. Number one thing that you need to do that I fucked up on, and I want to share with you to hopefully save you some agony, is have clear intentions. What does that look like for me if I was to go back to 2014 and really discuss with my wife what I was trying to create? My clear intentions would be, I knew from a very young age I was going to create something big. What's crazy is we're doing millions in sales now, and I still, my gut feeling is I know someday I'll create something big. So your idea of big just keeps changing and evolving, but I always knew I was going to create something big. When I started this lawn care and landscaping business though, I didn't really state like, what does that look like? What kind of life does that afford us? How long is it going to take? What are we going to build to? What are our goals? What are my intentions here? What really happened is I left a job where I had a really good pay, and I took a massive decline in my earnings, and we were broke for several years, really trying to get the business to take off. On food stamps for a year, paying myself less than if any employees worked any overtime, they would make more than me for sure, the lowest of the low starting employee. It just brewed this idea for my wife that we were always gonna be broke. We were always gonna be poor. It was always gonna be a struggle. The life, not that she ever had these huge dreams of bougie things, but you know, her life was never gonna be more than us just being broke and miserable and sad. If I would have started out with saying, honey, here's my plan. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm currently making X. I know without a doubt that I'm gonna have to put in a lot of hours because I'm gonna build a big company. It's not just gonna be me, but we're gonna have to lose in the short term to gain in the long term. We're going to have to delay our gratification so we can have awesome stuff in the future. And what that looks like to me and what I'm projecting is for 3, 4, maybe 5 years, we're going to have to grind it out, and I'm gonna have to work more than I've probably ever worked. But I expect by year 3 or 4 for us to be earning more money than we've ever made. And then from there on up, it's going to be up, and more things and more excitement, more new challenges, and we're gonna continue elevating the people around us, their lives, and our lives as we do it. You know, by the time we get past a certain point, we're gonna start building a team. I'm gonna get back some of my freedom. It's just going to take us, you know, it's gonna maybe take us 5 years to get there. It's going to be a little bit of a grind, but I know it's going to be worth it. If you will commit to this, if you will support me, if you will back me, if you will just tell me that, you know, hey, I see you're trying, I see you're doing good, I understand what we're doing, that would mean the world to me, and I know I can create this thing for you. If I would have said that alone, we could stop the video now and it would be good enough. That would have created so much more success in me starting out a business. Now, the second thing, when it comes to these situations, this is just my intention. Now, your person, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever they are to you, you need to not assume anything. And what do I mean by not assuming anything? When I was starting my business and it got busy enough that all of a sudden the phones were ringing and I couldn't just answer them. I didn't have enough time. I was out doing work. I was trying to train some employees. I couldn't get to the phone fast enough. And I assumed, just because I am starting this business, just like everybody should be happy that I'm doing this thing, and there should be zero questions about me working my ass off because that's just what it is. I assumed that because this was all going on, my wife would just sign off and be happy with helping and answering phones. So that's a huge no-no. Don't assume anything. Don't assume what your person will do, what they won't do. What ended up happening is 1,000% better. I didn't push her into that situation. She all but said, fuck you, that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna answer phones. And to this day, I don't think she has done any communication with any client ever, other than maybe something that we gave away or internal with the office and hanging out with the office team and maybe some of the employees. Don't assume what people want to do, because what we did create, I think, is even better. Me personally, I don't want anybody to really be steering massive decisions along with me. I want their feedback, but I don't want to have to constantly be like checking off if we can run something forward. So my wife trusts me to do big shit, and she also, if I ask her, and when I ask her for advice and her input, she always supports and or gives me the feedback of like maybe where we should make some changes. But what has happened is she found that she really loved marketing, and she was over here kind of like our marketing company that does everything, the marketing agency we work with. So we work together, but mostly in the function we kind of work apart, and the dynamic is really cool because we're never harping on each other about our jobs. I'm never like, did you call that fucking client? She's never on me like, what did you do here? It's a much better dynamic that's worked for us. Now, I'm not saying you can't work together and one person can't be in the office and one person can't be doing sales, but the number one thing is don't assume. Now, the final piece before you really jump into this, since you didn't assume, now to get this right, if you're going to work together, is going to be this right here. And right now, maybe your person still has a job and they're trying to decide if they want to come work with you, and everybody thinks that sounds great because we can get the family together and it'll be a family business, and it might be great, or it might be a total fucking shit show. So the final thing that you want to do, the third point that would save you a lot, is ask them what are their interests. Hey, I'm building this business. There needs to be marketing, there needs to be HR, there needs to be, a lot of copy and a lot of content, and a lot of written word that makes the structure of this company better. I need all these different training things. I need this, I need that. Ask them where their interest is. Don't force your person, your spouse, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever it is, your boyfriend. Do not force them into where you need them. I need someone to answer calls. That's what you're gonna do, honey. We're gonna work together, you're gonna answer the calls. Because she might hate you for it. She might despise that you're trying to push her into this and you're making it a very forceful thing, and you internally are thinking it's cool and it's gonna be great and we're gonna get to do this thing together, but they have zero fucking interest in that and they don't necessarily wanna do those things. So those are the topics right there. You got to hit the nail on the head on all of these. You need to have clear intentions. You need to not assume, and you need to ask whoever it is you're with, whoever you're working with, what are their interests? You're not hiring them. You wouldn't hire someone that has zero interest in a job and then ram them into a job. It's putting a square peg into a round hole. It's not how it works. So why does everyone do it to their person? So these three things, having that intention so everybody knows where you're gonna go, that's the first ground level, so you don't look like a lunatic when you don't make as much money at first and everybody else in the world's thinking you're crazy. So at least you've got some clear intention with your person on where you're going, and then not assuming what they want to do, and then asking what they actually want to do, if they want to do anything at all, so you're not pushing a square peg into a round hole. This video, this is super, super important. How I would have heard this starting my business, it would have changed my relationship dynamic, because I took a time of where I just ground and ground and ground, and I ran my relationship into the ground so bad that my wife was near leaving me. I almost lost my wife over this, and I don't want you to lose your person over this, because it's so easy to get caught up in what we do and all of a sudden try to be worried about exploding our business and forget about our health and our relationship and the other pillars of your life that are really foundational, that matter. So share this video if you know anyone going through this. Share this with them. They might not even have made their intention clear on what they're trying to build yet. And then like this video and subscribe. And if you want to continue learning more stuff, being with a group of awesome people, no matter what industry you're in, we have a coaching group called GROW Comm. We have weekly calls where we're going over topics that help you grow your business, and it cuts out all the noise of all the Facebook groups and the people who have no skin in the game offering their poor advice based on their failures of the past. So if you'd like to check that out, go to jacobgodar.com. You can go to GROW Comm. The wait list is right there. You can hop on that. It opens 4 times a year each quarter, and you'll get the notification as soon as it opens.